Hi, welcome to this week's video. This week we're going to be talking about texture, how to make texture in our wax. We've got our 3 or 4, I don't even remember how many layers of wax that I put on this illustration board, and it's smooth. I don't know if you can tell that. It's a smooth texture, and I get that by using the torch. And it just takes practice. So if you haven't gotten a smooth texture yet, don't let that worry you, because sometimes we want it bumpy, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about adding texture in 2 different ways. We're going to add it through the use of addition and the use of subtraction. So first, we're going to start with addition. So I'm going to add just a blue line at the bottom. I don't know, maybe this will be some kind of a landscape. So this is hot sticks that I'm using on this one, and it is straight from the bar. I should show you what that looks like. Oh, sorry for my reach. So this is the little stick, and you just rub it right on your griddle and it melts, and then I pick it up with a natural bristled paintbrush. And a little tip, if you want to clean this brush at the end of the session, you keep it warm. And I have a little tuna can that is filled with soy wax on my griddle. And when the soy wax melts, it is wonderful at cleaning your brushes and getting all the color off. So I take the brush and wipe it off into a paper towel and then swish it in that soy wax. Now, if you have a dark color like this blue, once you clean it, that soy wax is going to be garbage. But you can just get it at Michael's, and it's quite reasonable. It's the same soy wax that people would use in candles, say. So as you noticed, I'm only working on one tile today, and that's because some of my viewers said the videos are too long. So I'm going to try and keep this short, and we're just going to work on one tile, but I am going to eventually do it on all 4. So I'm going to go ahead and fuse this, and then we'll keep going. Okay, so the blue is fused. Now I think I don't really have any marks going on up here, so I think I'm going to paint this top part white, and that's still soft, so I'm probably going to have a fingerprint there. And I'm just going to have this almost like a sky. Maybe it's going to be a gray, cloudy day. And then I'm going to go ahead and fuse that. And when you're working, it's important to go back and forth, because this blue down here is really hot, and it takes a little bit for it to cool off. So I think I want another layer of this blue, but I think I might want it a little more purpley. So I'm going to go ahead and add in, sorry for my reach, I'm going to add in another hot sticks. This one's, this is actually burnt sienna, I think. So I'm going to add this into my blue and see what kind of neutral I can get out of it. See if it's cooled. It's still a little warm, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to mix these right on my palette. We're going to go right over the top. Just kind of give it some depth. Sorry. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and fuse that. All right. That looks really cool. All right, I'm going to finish up with a couple more layers of white on the top. I'm going to let this bottom layer of blue dry, and then I'm actually going to take maybe a dirty white and go right over the top of the blue too. And then I'll show you how to use subtraction and scraping in this video. So hang tight. So we have a layer of white that I kind of just went all the way down the whole thing. And what we're going to do now is we're going to fuse it. So really we're still using the method of addition. We're still adding wax, layers and layers of wax on top of this, and fusing between each one. So I'm hoping that we're going to get a little bit of lacing effect going on, which is my favorite. That looks neat. See, now the problem is I almost don't want to scratch into it. So I'm going to have to let this cool, and we'll do another layer on top of the white. So I'll feel better about scratching into it because I kind of really like it where it's at now. So I'll let this cool and I'll be right back. Okay, so on this piece, that was the one we were working on, and I just really like the way that looks. So I decided I'm not going to scrape into that one, and that's the joy of having multiple pieces, right? So here's another piece that I just finished coating with white. It's got that same blue tone underneath. I think it has a little bit of green under there too. And I'm going to use this. This is just like a ceramics tool, and the ceramics tools are best because they're metal. So they're easier to clean. Mine's a little dirty. I should probably clean it. This tool is good because it's got the round tip and then the pointy tip that you can do lots of things with. And then here's some tools that I found around the house. I'm not even sure where this was from. It just says Kemper Tools. This is like hard metal rakes, which is kind of cool. And then this one is a rolling pin, and it makes dots along your wax. So we'll do that too. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to almost make like wavy patterns, and I'm going to use this pointed edge. So I'm going to turn this tile and just kind of dig in. And I don't want them to be all in line with each other, but some of them I do. And as you do this, you're just scraping back the top layer, which is my white. So as I scrape back my white, whatever is underneath will be revealed. Now there's two things you can do once you reveal whatever's underneath. So you might love the way it looks and think, oh, I don't want to do anything, and you can just add a coat of encaustic medium. You might look at it and think, it needs a little something else, right? So you might want to add an oil paint stick or oil pastels into it. You know, so it just depends on what happens. And that's why it's so fun, because you never know what's going to happen. So I love that little bullseye right there. I don't know if you can see that. That came up, that little bullseye. So that area I'm going to leave. And I'm just going to dig a little bit more over on the sides. And I obviously put a large layer of white wax. I didn't think I put that heavy of a layer on. That's okay. It's a good demonstration, just so you know, you don't ever want to be afraid to dig into your wax, because what could reveal itself might be exactly what you're looking for. it's just a look that you can't get any other way. Now I could take some of these strings, like let's say if I wanted to put it on top of something else, I could collect these and put them on top, and now I'm going to have a different kind of texture, right? I need another one of those little holes, which I really like. Another thing you could use this tool for is if you're having trouble smoothing out your wax to be a flat surface. Sometimes if you're using a heat gun, it might be a little more difficult to get it super flat. You can kind of use this, and I would use it this way in a scraping motion, and it would just kind of take off any of the bumps to make it a flat surface. So it's super fun, and I highly recommend you give it a go. And the whole reason why you gotta make sure you have a lot of layers of wax on there is because if you scrape off like this, you don't want to go all the way back down to the bottom. You know, you always want to have a layer that you can dig into. All right, the other thing I wanted to show you were these lines. I don't know if that really goes with this piece, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. So let's say, what could we do with these lines? Maybe I'll just do that on another piece. Let's set that aside. Let's take this piece that we don't have anything really going on with. So let's say on this piece, I want to make some lines, okay? It's cooled, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and push this in and go up. And you know what? I think this point here is going to be my center point. So every time I cross, I'm going to try and hit that center point. Let's do a curvy one. Curvy one that way. Well, I think I only want it this way. See, and I wasn't going to make this very long, and now it is going to be long. Okay, so hold on one second, and I'm going to go grab my oil paint stick to show you how we can fill those holes in so you can see them better. Okay, so for this process, this is my black R&F oil stick, and that's kind of how I keep it. I keep it wrapped up in wax paper, and once you open it, it gets like a film on the top that you have to remove every time you do it. So it's just super messy. So I like to keep a little wax paper on it, and then if you have some paper towels handy, you can just pick off that top layer, and it'll be nice and wet and ready to go. You'll also notice I put on a glove, very important with the oil sticks, and I'm also going to use coconut oil. You could, I think R&F actually has a regular oil that you can use, but I don't know. I find coconut oil works just as good. So what I'm going to do is I want to fill these little lines with the oil stick. So I'm going to rub some of this coconut oil around my piece just to make it easier to remove the oil stick when I'm done. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to take the oil stick and I'm going to rub it kind of hard over all the spots that I know have my little bumps. You can kind of feel it or see it as it's picking up the paint. Okay, so let's wrap this back up so we don't get it all over the place, like that. Oops. Once you do that, I'm going to actually use my finger. Oh, maybe I'll try and keep it clean. I'm going to try and use this paper towel. I usually use my finger just to rub it in, my gloved finger. So we really want to rub it in all the little holes that we made. And at this point, don't get nervous thinking, oh, I just ruined it. Okay, you didn't. So then we're going to take a clean spot of paper towel, dip it in our coconut oil, and we're going to remove. So this you have to go a little more gently. So when you rub it and remove the layer, you have to keep getting a new spot of paper towel because otherwise you're just rubbing in the old stuff. What'll be left behind are the dots or bumps or whatever kind of mark you made. That's what's going to be left behind. I go through a lot of paper towels with this method, so let me rip some more off. And I'm just going to keep rubbing this in. And if you have any bumpy areas on your tile, this black will fill in those spots too, which sometimes looks really cool, you know. So I don't know, I'm feeling like this piece might have been pretty smooth, so I should be able to get most of the black off. But you can see, you just keep rubbing it. Oops, I'm gonna bump right into the camera. Sorry about that. Are you guys still there? Dropped my paper towel on the floor. I've got a breeze outside today, which is beautiful. It's gorgeous out still. Before tomorrow it goes down to 50 degrees here in Chicago. Crazy weather as always. And I think this piece was a little bit green when I started. But I kind of like how that black has just kind of toned it down a little bit. All right, so now I'm just going to take a dry paper towel and try and get off any of the excess oil, because we really don't want excess oil on top of our wax, because I probably will keep going with more layers on this. But as you can see, we now have some really cool marks. So it is time to, I don't even know where I found that piece of, I don't even know what this is. I don't know. It's just like a, if anybody knows, let me know. It's got like little pointy things on it, and it spins, and it's out of metal, so the wax won't stick to it, but it makes a very cool mark. All right, I think I'm good there. So these are my 3 pieces that we did today. So this was by addition. We just kept adding layers, and then when we fused it, we got this lacy look. This was by subtraction, so the blue showed through in the white. We'll have to add maybe some pastels over that. And then this is also by subtraction, but using tools and then filling in the holes that are left with RNF pigment sticks. So lots of different options. I hope you try something, and if you do, let me know in the comments and share what your piece looks like. Thanks, have a great day. Bye.